I'm honestly really happy I'm making this video, and I told you guys that today was possibly going to be a 3-video day. Well, technically this is getting out at 12 a.m. Eastern time, but you get what I'm saying. Today was a 3-video day, and it's some really good freaking news, especially if you happen to be a Celtics fan. So before we get to the content, just a reminder, we're giving away $500 to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. We're also giving away $500 to a follower on our Instagram page. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. All agree on one thing, and that's that traditional banks stink. They charge $35 in overdraft fees. They charge you fees for having a checking and a savings account. They don't give cash back on debit card purchases. Their apps are slow and clunky to use. They send you alerts in the mail, and they put you on hold for hours to talk to a human being, which is why I recommend Albert. Albert is completely different from any bank account that you've ever used. They are free to sign up with and super easy to use. Instead of just opening a traditional savings account and hoping that you put money into it, Albert looks at your income and expenses and sees what kind of money you can save. They will automatically move money into your savings account even if it's a few dollars at a time. Albert never charges overdraft fees ever. As a matter of fact, instead they'll spot you up to $250 whenever you need it. But most importantly, for me, you guys all know I'm a freaking dumbass, especially when it comes to managing my money, which is why Albert has something called Genius, which is a team of financial experts that will look at your situation, help you make a plan, and help you out whenever you get stuck. So click the link in the description box to download Albert today. And for a limited time, go to albert.com/TFM, and when you submit a qualifying direct deposit, you will get a free $150. Or you can just go to albert.com/TFM. To open up your checking account, submit a qualifying direct deposit, and make yourself a free $150. And thank you, Albert, for the sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, I apologize if everything seems to be a mess around me. I am actually in the process of moving. I literally heard this news as I was packing up my desk, getting ready to move over to my new place, and I was like, okay, I guess we have one last video to make at our old place before we go to our new place. And this one's a bit of a roller coaster, believe me. Remember about 10 days ago when the Detroit Pistons made this trade for Bol Bol, when they gave up Rodney Magruder for Bol Bol? And honestly, I felt like it was a very nice gesture by the Denver Nuggets, because Bol Bol wasn't getting a lot of playing time, man. Come on, every NBA fan is rooting for my man to succeed. But ultimately, after a trade that would give Bol Bol some playing time on an up-and-coming Detroit Pistons team that is slowly finding its identity behind the likes of Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, and Killian Hayes, unfortunately, the Detroit Pistons saw something in Bol Bol's game that just kind of made them pump the brakes on the trade. As a result of the physical that Bol Bol quote-unquote failed, the entire trade between the Denver Nuggets and the Detroit Pistons was null and void. Now, bear in mind, we talked about this on the Laced Up podcast a little bit. About 6 years ago, the exact same situation happened with the same exact team, by the way, the Detroit Pistons, where Donatas Motiejunas and Marcus Thornton were traded to the Detroit Pistons in a 3-team trade. 4 days later, the Pistons rescinded their trade following a failed physical by Motiejunas. Now, this is where it gets a little dark because, Motiejunas would go back to the Rockets lineup. He received a 4-year, $37 million offer sheet from the Brooklyn Nets, which the Rockets would match. After you sign a contract, typically you show up for a physical. Motiejunas would not show up for his physical after signing that new contract. Ultimately, Motiejunas' camp made the decision to not report to the Rockets because they didn't agree on the amount that was being offered in terms of nearly $6 million. The Rockets only matched the principal terms of his offer sheet, which was $31 million and not $37 million. Really sketchy stuff. Afterwards, they would agree to a contract between $35 million and $37 million with incentives And then Motiejunas would be sent home before a team game, despite, the agreement on a new contract after taking a physical. So once again, a physical was what ended up ruining his career. Donatas Motiejunas literally went through the exact same thing a few years earlier with the Detroit Pistons, and as a result, he lost out on a ton of money because of multiple failed physicals. Now, according to Donatas Motiejunas, he says that the reason he failed his physical, according to the Pistons, was absolute BS, and as a result, the man is literally playing overseas as opposed to cashing in on NBA contracts, and he actually credits the Detroit Pistons for potentially ruining his NBA career because he's still playing basketball despite the failed physicals. Now, as a result of that, I was actually scared. I thought that this failed physical from Bol Bol meant that Bol's days were numbered in the NBA, and thankfully, I was wrong, because according to Adrian Wojnarowski, we got some absolutely beautiful breaking news coming at us at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The San Antonio Spurs, Denver Nuggets, and Boston Celtics are executing a 3-team trade. So the trade is Juancho Hernangomez will get traded to the San Antonio Spurs, Bryn Forbes goes to the Denver Nuggets, Bol Bol and PJ Dozier goes to the Boston Celtics. Now, I actually really like this trade. Way better for the Denver Nuggets. After a potential embarrassment where Bol Bol had to go back to a team where they already gave away his jersey number, the number 10, to LeBron James Ennis, it seems like the fact that the trade got voided for the Denver Nuggets ended up paying off, because instead of getting a player that doesn't really contribute much in Rodney McGruder, no offense to Rodney McGruder, but him and Bol Bol literally had the same exact type of statistics, they get Bryn Forbes, who is an incredible floor spacing guard who shot 45% from 3 while attempting 5 threes per game last year, and this year he's shooting 42% from 3 while attempting 4 3-pointers per game this year. So in this case, the Denver Nuggets are getting a significantly better trade for Bol Bol, but they're also giving up PJ Dozier, who wasn't necessarily crushing it with the Denver Nuggets and was out indefinitely since November due to a torn ACL. But as opposed to getting a player that's just going to be sitting at the end of their bench, they're actually getting a player that could contribute and at least could shoot threes. So this is an A+ for the Denver Nuggets. Originally, we thought that the Denver Nuggets were literally just donating Bol Bol to the Detroit Pistons. Here they get a player that could literally contribute to them going down the stretch in Bryn Forbes. Denver Nuggets get an A++ for this trade. Now, the Boston Celtics have had a player similar to Bol Bol, at least in memeability, in my opinion, when they had Taco Fall. And my personal hope is that Bol Bol doesn't just assume the Taco Fall role where he's going to come in at the end of games, barely get any playing time once again, and pretty much be in the exact same position that he was with the Denver Nuggets. Because if I'm being honest, the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets are kind of in the same exact situation in terms of them being teams that are fringe contenders that are kind of underachieving according to their own standards. Except the Denver Nuggets are currently 6th place in the West and the Boston Celtics are 10th place in the East, despite them having very similar records. So in this case, Bol Bol unfortunately gets a huge downgrade in terms of situation. He's going to go to a team that might stash him at the very end of the bench, as opposed to going to a rebuilding team like the Detroit Pistons, who have young players and former draft busts that they're taking swings on and that are focused on developing said players. Unfortunately for Bol Bol, he's pretty much going to an equivalent situation, and I don't really see the Celtics playing him that much. Maybe he signs on with another team at the end of the season, assuming teams don't really care about Bol Bol's physical. Now, it's also important to note that Bol is going to be out for the next 8 to 12 weeks because he's going to undergo surgery on his foot, according to Cham Charania. So ultimately for the Celtics, I give this trade a B or a C. Honestly, I don't really know what they're going to do with Bol Bol. And then, of course, you have the fact that Juancho Hernangomez got sent to the San Antonio Spurs, which, once again, a player that wasn't really playing that many minutes at all, averaging 5 minutes per game for the Celtics this year. When he did get meaningful minutes, he was a below average player, if I'm being honest. So again, I don't really see this as anything that's relevant for the San Antonio Spurs, at least in terms of being on the court. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this. If you're a Bol Bol fan, what do you think about this? If you're a Nuggets fan, you definitely won this trade. If you're a Celtics fan, you're probably feeling kind of excited, but kind of feeling like we've been here before. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.